Okay, welcome back. I have the fender done, and you can see I clear coated it. You can see the reflection in it. So, looks absolutely beautiful. It is perfect. And I am going to work it. I'm going to work it onto the bike. There are two spots here. And I'm using the flanged. I need to move that camera. So I'm going to move it. So it is a 10 millimeter. So let me get a 10 millimeter wrench. And by using the flanged nuts, the flanged serrated nuts, you don't have to really hold anything on the other side because it holds. And I cleaned the reflectors. I put the reflectors back on. They were in great shape. Those are the only parts on this bike that I think have SAE sized nuts and bolts. They're from Lucas. Okay. And so this is going to, the battery tray goes here. It's going to attach here. And on the other side, right here, the bracket to hold the voltage regulator goes. So I've already got that cleaned up. So before I put the battery tray in, let me do the starter. So here is the starter. Starter is going right there. The starter that we have is toast, so I have another starter. There is a dirty little secret that this bolt right here, I have to shave it down a little bit to get the starter in. So let me shave this down a little bit. I'm going to use my grinder. So let me just go over to my bench. Let me put this in the vise. Let me grab my gloves and put my glasses on. And I understand the bike is dirty. It's dusty in here, especially with me blasting. It's going to clean up super fast. But there's not much I can really do. So I'm cleaning everything as I kind of go. Okay, so now I'm going to grind this thing down. Okay. Okay. So obviously it is smoking hot. Let me put it down here. Oh, and I forgot to say that this is the crossover tube. So you know what? This is the crossover tube for the exhaust, and it was crazy rusty, so I cleaned it, and I am going to go to my grinder. I plated it already, so I'm just going to go buff it out. And again, I plated it not necessarily for looks because it's underneath the bike. It'll look good, but to protect it from rust. It's been rusty like crazy anyway. It is done. It's silver. So funny. I actually made the mistake of keeping it in there like 45 minutes. So it really is going to turn out the way the base metal is. So the base metal it's a piece of raw pipe that was crazy pitted. It's incredibly thick steel. So it is now protected from rust. So let me go get that nut. It's probably still crazy hot. I mean the wash, or the, yes. Okay. So it is time to put this bolt back in. Yeah, it just have to be shaved down a little bit. So this is the neutral switch. You know what? We're going to actually put a connector there, just so that, and neutral switch is green wire, so we're just going to put that there, because you know what? Might as well do it while we're here. So it's just like a connector. So I'm going to put in a female bullet. And they used to have, well, the starter normally gets wired into this neutral switch so that it will not start unless the bike is in neutral. I don't do that. It is okay. So that is shaved. Let me get the piece of green wire. Okay, so have a piece of green wire. And here is my my connector kit. I will put a link. I bought this on Amazon. This is the absolute best. I've gotten 3 or 4 of these crimping tools that are just awful. They don't crimp right. This one crimps correctly every single time. And plus it came, so the crimper came with it, as well as crimped ends. So here's one crimped end that we're going to crimp on. And I told you we're going to put a female on. So it's going to be a female bullet. And here is the female bullet with the cover. So let me cut the wire. We don't need it too long, so I'm going to cut the wire. Going to trim it. I'm using only, I think it's GXL, and it's all 16 gauge. 16 gauge is, you should be able to wire the entire bike with the 16 gauge. There are a couple I use 12 gauge, and that's going from the voltage regulator to the generator, and the power going from the key switch, from the battery to the key switch, and from the key switch to the panel. So load it up. It is loaded. End of story. It is a perfect crimp. That is a perfect crimp. And it's a perfect crimp every single time. the next is we're going to put a female in because we will plug in a male to the ground, to the neutral. So I put the vinyl sheath on first. I load up the connector, put the wire in. It is a perfect crimp every time. My other one, it was a perfect crimp every third time, and which was really, I don't want to say frustrating, it was just awful, really. So we're putting the neutral connector on. The neutral is green. That's the color in the wiring diagram. So when we go through the wiring diagram, you can see it's green. And it is let me get like a little 8mm. I really want to do everything original on this bike, and so I am, to a point. Obviously the wiring, we need to be safe. Okay, so that is on. Obviously these are the two wires for the, I'm not going to put ends on these yet because I don't know what type of brake cable I'm going to be running. So that is the connectors. So the next is the starter. We'll put that on next. So the starter fits a little bit differently. I'm going to take this off. And you can see how right here, oops, let me get a little bit closer. Right here, this side will hit that bolt. And I understand that's grounding it, and that's fine, but you have to grind it just a shade. You can see there's really not much clearance here. So the starter relay plugs into here, and this is the live wire. And we just have a lot of things going on here. Plus we have this, and this is going to attach to the battery tray. So you're going to see how everything goes. So this takes a special Allen bolt. Okay. And so the top one gets an Allen bolt. And this starter has to be modified. I have not modified this starter yet. That's awful. I thought for sure I did. Okay, it is. Okay, so I need to drill this hole out. And I need to drill it out because it is because it's not threaded right here. So I've got to drill this out, and I've got to modify this a shade. So let's go there. On the starter, this little piece right here, I just need to shave that off. So I've got the grinder over here. So let's put this in. There we go. So put some gloves on. So I'm going to grind this little piece off right here. And it's nice that the grinder's all ready to go. And then I just have to drill a hole bigger than that Allen bolt. So